Hey, what's up? It's Dominic DeAngelo. It's Studio One Sports. Boom, right up there. But you may know me from RVDTV.com as well. One of a kind with RVD. And how about that? We got to see a little RVD tonight. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about so much more here right after John Cena's final match that went down in Washington, D.C., Saturday night's main event. 4 matches on the card. Lots to think about here, lots to take away in certain aspects of things, particularly that finish that we saw. We got some folks in the chat here. We got Triple E showing on up early on, one of our regulars here. By the way, we're live right now on RVD's X account, on my X account at Dominic DeAngelo. And if you go to YouTube, type in Brass Ring Media, you'll find Studio One Sports. Be sure to like, subscribe. That's going to be this hot new channel we got going on here. You'll also see a recent interview I did with Vince Russo. Wow. And plenty more to come here. But thank you all for joining tonight. There's a lot to talk about when it comes to this episode of Saturday night's main event. Wow. Do I start with the big? I guess we're going to start with the big stuff here. Obviously, Cena lost. Man, was it the right choice? From a fan base standpoint and that reaction, wow. You got to say Cena, I wanted Cena to win. I think everybody in that crowd wanted Cena to win. But you have to take a look at it. Look at who we're talking about here. We are talking about John Cena. He is the ultimate guy to give back to pro wrestling. For him to not go out on his sword like that, it would be, in his mind too, contradictory to the way that he's handled himself throughout these years in the wrestling ring. You think of how many people he has put over in his career to a generous standpoint, overly generous standpoint sometimes. And I mean, you look at the recent ones, Solo Sikoa being one, Austin Theory being another one. My goodness, Brock Lesnar coming back and just helping perpetuate the story of him returning at WrestlePalooza and all that. Thinking for the betterment of the company, the betterment of what goes on. While I was so invested into this match, that's 10-minute set or however long that was of a sleeper hold, I thought was such captivating pro wrestling. And it really captures the essence of what you look for in that old school kind of thing. Having a story told in that 10 minutes, not that it was the outcome that I wanted and that anybody wanted, I thought was just a fascinating element. It was a really captivating match. The finish is something to talk about. It certainly is. Yes. Final Flash says, hearing the crowd boo Triple H, pretty wild stuff. I don't think the onus should be on Triple H. I mean, I know he has the final say, a lot of it. You got to look. I'm sure this was a collaboration with Cena. I'm sure it was. You know, I think I could imagine John fighting tooth and nail to not have his final match be a win, because you don't do that in pro wrestling. You think about Sting's final match, and Tony Khan overrode what Sting wanted. Sting wanted to lose. Tony Khan was like, we got to have you win. And, you know, I think they should have done that with John here tonight. It's because you just look at that crowd reaction and how it was a moment. I just saw Conrad Thompson, friend of the show, tweet out that he liked it, and it felt like Taker's streak ending in a different way. And it's certainly memorable. It certainly is that. But Cena winning would have been memorable. Cena winning, that's the ultimate send the crowd home happy. It really is. You think of all the circumstances, the stakes are so high. This is John Cena's last match. And for him to tap out and just end it, I get it, but it's still, you're still missing it. It's still, you're taking away what the fans really, really wanted. Ultimately, it's what John wanted, I think. You know, he wanted to pass it on to Gunther. It would, like I keep saying, it would have been against John's moral compass in the squared circle to win in his final match. It just would have. He's the epitome of giving back in pro wrestling. He really is. And if you everybody saw those video packages throughout the night. You see how many people he's influenced and how giving he is to everybody, whether that's in the ring or behind the scenes. It's so fascinating. My co-host for Rumor and Innuendo, Robert Karplus, talked about on his podcast, Working Stiff. Check it out. But he mentioned how Cena conscientiously took a moment years back to make sure that everybody in production got an in-ring picture with him way back when. And like, then I saw another friend of mine that I went to college with, Brian Kunzman, who worked for WWE, share that picture. I was like, wow, that's what Robert was just talking about. So John is the ultimate give backer here in pro wrestling. It is looking for the betterment of the business. And if you watched throughout the week, him helping out with Bailey's class, with all the women wrestlers, up and coming women wrestlers there, it's just in his nature. And that's what makes John Cena cool. Yeah, I think he should have won tonight. That crowd reaction was such a bummer. I was bummed. It was awesome to see everybody there. It was awesome that the level that they gave to John throughout the evening in such a great way, I thought. He's not showing up on Raw. There might have been some suspicions or maybe some speculation that perhaps he'll be on Raw. Maybe we'll do a farewell. I think the farewell thing, I think this is the way to end it for John. Maybe we don't see him back till he gets that Hall of Fame induction. But man, I mean, let's take a look at some of your comments here. We got a good amount of people here in the chat. We got over 1,200 people tuning in right now. Thank you so much. If you're new to this is Studio One Sports. This is my new venture. I'm going out on my own here in a lot of ways, but I got some big stuff planned for this. Several shows that lined up. This is formerly the Kurt Angle channel. If you're on X and you're checking out RVD's X account, or you're checking out my X account, go to YouTube, type in Brass Ring Media. You'll see Studio One Sports. Brass Ring Media. You'll see Studio One Sports. Subscribe, like, share, help out. It's would be a big thing. So, and pretty neat. This is Kurt Angle's former channel. Kurt Angle was there. I work with RVD. RVD was there tonight. So we'll talk about that here a little bit too. Let's take some of your guys' comments here in the chat. We have Willie Thornbrew says, I'm getting some serious WrestleMania 30 vibes. See? Yes. Good or bad? What do you guys think? I want to hear what everybody thinks here in this chat about that outcome. Because, I mean, gosh, it did. It felt like the air coming out of a balloon when that match ended. I understand. I get what John probably wanted out of all that. And I do get it. But if you're thinking from a wrestling product and you're thinking about WWE, like, you know, how you want to end it on such a big note, you are WWE's biggest star. He's the most well representation of WWE there ever has been. If you look at it from an all-encompassing product, Bruno is an argument I think you could really make too for a certain amount, because like he was early on and he was that representative for 12 years with the title in total and things like that. And he was, you know, he exemplified professionalism in and outside the ring. John does the same, but obviously on this WWE global level of things. Obviously Hulk Hogan, sure, was a big ambassador as well, but John Cena exemplifies it in so many ways. Man, let's see. Take a look at some of your other comments here. Under the Matt Radio, it was poetic. He never gave up, but he did in his final match. See, that's a kind of a unique way to look at it. He never gave up except in the final match, which is kind of neat, isn't it? It is kind of neat in certain ways. So I'll give you that. Maybe this is like recency bias in certain ways for a lot of people. Maybe the fact will change. I remember everybody being completely shocked when Undertaker lost that streak. I was shocked. I mean, but you look at what it did, and Taker losing put Brock Lesnar on a whole new level. If you do not remember back then, Brock Lesnar was a dead in the water character big time. The previous year, WrestleMania 29 in New York, I was at that WrestleMania, the first WrestleMania I ever attended. And Brock fought Triple H, lost to Triple H. Not a memorable match in a lot of ways. And like he just felt like this half-baked person storyline leading to Undertaker. And then so for Brock then to beat the Undertaker, it put Brock back on that obliterator train. That something that WWE seriously needed at that moment in time too. I mean, you did have Daniel Bryan resurface, but like and come to stardom at WrestleMania 30. But I mean, Lesnar got reinvigorated and set a tone for like just a dominant force moving forward. I mean, Robert and I talked about this on Rumor and Innuendo. Like, it kind of doesn't matter. Like, the outcome of this match, totally in the scheme of it, doesn't necessarily matter. Like, if Gunther lost, like, Gunther would have been fine. However, if you look at it this way, and the reaction that crowd had for Cena losing, maybe this is going to help Gunther out in a very big way. It very well could. So, I mean, we're going to have to, I guess, wait and see. My initial thought, boom, you do not like Cena should have won. But I mean, I can certainly understand what Under the Mat Radio had to say. Like, I'll read this again. It was poetic. He never gave up, but he did in his final match. And I'm sure kind of that's what John was thinking, right? That's kind of the way he was looking at it. Never give up. I gave up this final one. And you know, it is like it is what an odyssey. What an odyssey that Cena has been on in pro wrestling, and kind of a fascinating way to put it there. Oh wow, see, yep, somebody put F Triple H. JDL2315. Cena put the future of the company first. Yes, like he did. It's going to be interesting. How will they capitalize on Gunther now? I think you can't have Gunther lose for a while. If he gets a world title shot, whether that's Cody, maybe Gunther wins the Rumble and he goes up against Cody, because I think that would be a fascinating one. And then you have Gunther defeat Cody at WrestleMania. Like, you gotta capitalize. If you had Gunther win, you got to run with it now at this point, right? And I think that's what should be going on. Triple E does mention the crowd wanted a better finish for sure. They were not happy. I can't say I really blame them. They're gonna be upset. They're gonna be upset. The crowd should have been yelling "F you, producers!" for whatever idea it was for Cena to give up quick. I was fine with winning or losing. I thought the tap was too quick. Should have been something bigger. It was kind of unceremonious. I'll say that. I think Cena was like wanting it to be like, yeah, this is it. This is time. And here it is. And so he did make it unceremoniously, purposefully in a certain way. So, and look, Ole J. It was exactly how it should have ended. So look at this. That crowd was not happy, but we are getting some different opinions on here, and I think that's great. Willie Thornbrew, he's thinking the Terry Funk in Puerto Rico route. I hope Gunther gets out of DC safely. There is a story Terry Funk told that how he got stabbed twice in when he was working in Puerto Rico, and like he had the knives hanged up on his wall after the fact. That's getting some heat there, brother. Man. Mike J. Letting down a generation of wrestling fans following the mantra, never give up with a little tap out, is a terrible way. Should have just passed out. I disagree in certain ways. I can understand that aspect of, yeah, he's not letting down people. I think a generation of wrestling fans are pretty tuned into how wrestling works and operates. So him tapping out, I don't think he stabbed fans in the back by doing that. If he passed out, that just would have been like uh undefinitive finish in a way. Like, yeah, he passed out, but how many? That's what's the word I'm looking for? That's a convention that gets rode too much nowadays. Is people passing out instead of tapping out. So I like if he's gonna give up, have him give up that way. Maybe he could have been more emphatic with the tap out itself, but I don't know. I would not have liked him just passing out just because that happens all the time now. You look at an AEW, it happens in WWE, it happens all over the place. It's just like a lazy way to protect somebody, I think. Gunther also racking up the retirement stories, as Boss Brad adds. Boss Brad also says Goldberg, Cena. Next could be Styles, Ray, Randy, Brock, Jericho. Wow, he's WWE's version of Thanos. Pretty interesting way to look at it, right? I did see a meme. That theme of the Grim Reaper. There's like doors that are open, and they usually put people's faces on the doors of who the Grim Reaper MDK'd. And I saw they had Goldberg on one, then they had Cena on the next door, and then AJ Styles was next in line with Gunther as the Grim Reaper. So yeah, you might be onto something. Man, could you imagine Gunther being able to end all those people like in their careers? Like it speaks to what they have, the faith they have in Gunther, and rightfully so. I got to give Gunther his big flowers in this. I think what was really, really cool is early on in the match, how Gunther would level Cena, level him down, and like wanting Cena to give up and like physically give up. Like he kept telling the ref to ask him, like after knocking him down, not when he had him in a rest hold or anything like that or a submission hold, but when he had him knocked down. And I think that was a really, really cool element that I was like, you don't see that often. Like, it's like, ask him, he's down. I want him to give up right now. And I think that was very cool and creative on Gunther's part. Maybe Cena had some input on that too, but I thought that was a cool act in the match overall. What are Razor's thoughts? Did he go crazy or was he calm when Cena tapped? Razor was laying right beside. Razor's my cat, everybody, by the way. He's my cat. I named him after Scott Hall. But he was hanging out for sure. He was not watching the show it's out, but he was a presence around. McKinsey. WWE is basically building Gunther to be the Brock Lesnar of the future. Yeah, I mean, like maybe in certain ways, for sure. I mean, yeah, I guess you'd have to very much consider that in certain ways because, yeah, I mean, he beat Cena. I mean, is he more? I don't know. Gunther's like his own kind of thing. He's not a Brock Lesnar where he's like this huge, menacing physical presence. Like I'm thinking, like Braun is more of a Brock coming up, while Gunther is just like this. He's just the ring general. He's got his own thing going on. So I do think that there is kind of a pretty neat thing going on for Gunther. I like while I kind of dismissed it as like, yeah, either way it won't matter, but like I hope it pays off for Gunther having this happen, in a lot of ways. And, it's just to see how you build Gunther, how you build your other stars. What are you doing? Who is going to be, Cody is in like, obviously world champ in the present, as Michael Cole said earlier on. But who is the future? Who is the future? Is it Obafemi? Obafemi had an excellent presence in the ring. Man, you want to talk about a flat finish. That first match, I was very excited for Obafemi versus Cody Rhodes, and I thought they were delivering. And I understand the aspect of having like a kind of a non-finish, which it was, but that was really flat to have as an opener for the match. If you put that match on, if you traded places with that match in Bailey versus Sol Ruca, I would have been okay, totally okay with that kind of finish. But for that to be your opener, just like, ugh. Well, at least we got Cena coming up. And then Cena loses the way he did. Ugh, I don't know. Like, there would have been I would have had Sol and Bailey open because you get that good win from Sol Ruca, who was great. Like, I don't watch NXT a whole lot, So I was not familiar with Sol Ruka's music, which is very like Dick Dale. If you're familiar with Pulp Fiction, like the surfer kind of music kind of thing going on. I like her theme music. She's gorgeous. She's got a beautiful look. She's super talented. That finisher, the soul catcher, is fantastic. I know people say like, "Oh, it's unrealistic" or whatever. That's a badass move. That looks badass, and you can play it off where that could knock somebody out. I'm okay. I'm a-okay with the soul catcher as a finishing move. I think it's fantastic. Um, Triple E adds, would have been cool to see Brock show up and let everyone think he's going to level Cena like he has, but attacks Gunther instead and set something up for Gunther after tonight. Maybe. I think that's not a bad idea, Triple E. I think, though, play that up on Raw. Have that be something on Raw. But then Brock is a baby face. He's with Heyman. So I think you do run into a sticky situation there. And obviously, Gunther's going to be heel. Like, how are you going to turn Gunther after he just tapped out the greatest wrestler of all time? Oh, Sold Snatcher. Thank you. Thank you, Brospat. Thank you. Joe Hendry did appear. I was surprised by that. It's kind of nice little hat tip to Miz and R-Truth, obviously, tonight. And then Joe Hendry, who didn't get his match with Cena, but got to be on Cena's last match on the card at least. Like, show up. So good on that, right? Yes, I did like this Soul, Ruka, and Bailey match. I thought Soul is extremely, extremely talented. And man, she's going to be a big star, big time star. Bailey's awesome as well. I loved, and I know I kind of mentioned this already, but everybody giving shout outs to John throughout the evening, not just the talent backstage or the talent he's worked with, but big name athletes and celebrities. Tom Brady. Tom Brady giving John Cena his flowers. Wow, that tells you something. And I was thinking about this as the show was wrapping up. Was Tom Brady was like barely into his professional football career when John Cena started. Like, he had one Super Bowl at that point when Cena debuted. At least yes, because Cena debuted in June of 2002. Brady won the Super Bowl in 2002 against the Rams. Is that correct? Yes, that is correct. And so Tom Brady just started his career. Tom Brady ended his career several years ago, and Cena's still going up until tonight. So I thought that was kind of neat. Plus, you had Eli Manning, you had Peyton Manning, you had Tyrese Halliburton, you had so many different names there. Awesome that Chuck Zito was there, who was a friend of Rob Van Dam. Yes. So I thought that was cool. Really, really neat. Yeah, I was so happy to see Rob. I didn't know if he was going to be there. I always like when something like this happens, especially John Cena's last match, and knowing his history with John, I was like, maybe Rob will be there tonight. But it was a very, very pleasant surprise. I saw him earlier in the video package, him kind of shouting out John. So it was awesome to see him. When I saw Trish Stratus and I saw a guy's arm beside her, I was like, is that Rob's arm? Is that Rob's arm? And then they pan over and there he is. So it was really cool to see that. And it was awesome to see Kurt there too. Kurt is amazing. And I like the goatee he's got. He's rocking too. Kurt's looking good. So is Mark Henry too. Mark Henry's looking good. Eve Torres, that was a pleasant surprise to see her. I was happy to see her. Trisha, obviously we see her, and that was cool. Was Eve Torres eating like a John Cena Pop-Tart? What was that she was having? Or a John Cena cookie? That must have been a catering or something. I don't know what it was, but that was pretty cool. But yeah, it was neat. It was super neat. Tell you what, if I was like Timothy Chalamet, dude, I would have done anything and everything to get to that event, be there for that. Or like if I, I'm just trying to think. If I was just some big name actor or wrestling that was a wrestling fan, I would have gone been at John Cena's last match with bells on. Hell yeah. Why not use that clout to get? I would do it. I would totally have done that. But yes. But I'm trying to think what else. The tag match was cool and fun. Showed the athleticism of Javon Evans and Leon Slater and AJ Styles obviously, and so fun tag match. Like the undercard was there, but to John Cena's point, it was just like almost like a out of continuity kind of aspect of it all, it felt like. Um, Willie Thornberry says it was really nice that they talked about to Stu on the pre-show. That's cool. I did not catch that. Stu the cameraman. Yeah, Stu got some camera time. John tried to give him some camera time literally when he was walking out as an entrance. And like I don't know if the camera got disconnected or they had to switch for some reason, but it wasn't a good visual, I guess. And so they never put Stu that much on camera, even though John made the attempt to do so. That video package at the end was really, really good. You know, it kind of washed a little bit of the disappointment away because it was such a nice video package with everybody sharing the thoughts. It was neat I thought it was a very nice touch that they had the video package playing, but they made sure to keep the camera on John too, so you could see his reaction to it all. And, you know, it was neat to see him kind of like get emotional and see certain aspects where you could tell he really appreciated a lot of everybody in that in that package and everything. I thought it was a nice touch too. I mean, this would have felt so much better if he won. It really would have. Like Cody and Punk coming out and giving him the titles to hold. What a symbol, mark of symbolism that is. And not only that, what a visual that is. Like John is WWE. And for him to hold both those titles really like said something. I think from a visual perspective and a metaphorical perspective. Like it's I kind of my initial thought should have won. My initial faction. I think people are making a pretty fair case. Will it pay off? Will it pay off? That's going to be the underlying question. I think is going to be the thing. You need a big baby face. You need a big baby face, and you have to now really, really commit and put your chips behind Gunther as that dominant force. Like, you know, because I mean, you can have a dominant heel. You can certainly have that, but you really, really need a future top name that is going to be your next John Cena for it to really pay off, I think. Can Gunther make somebody like that? Like, is how the product presented and how I don't know what we see on a week to week basis, is the formula still there for that? That's going to be the question. That is going to be the $1 million question, the $1 billion question, even more so probably. McKinsey adds WWE needs to build up a new face to fall to Gunther and Braun. They don't. No, I don't think they do. They need a new face to ultimately defeat a Gunther or a Braun. That's what they need even more so than that. You need Gunther to be the hot dominant hand here for a while. But who is going to unseat him? It's just things are a little out of place, you know, in certain ways with how the chips are lined up and things like that. Now they have a very vast and depth wise roster of talent that they can choose from. But like, I mean, like I said, I think Obafemi has a lot of potential, and maybe he can be a guy like that. Could he be the next big face of WWE? Like, I'm not sure. I just don't know. And like, will there be a next big face? That's the question. Or is it the brand that ultimately rides? When you look at it that way, like, should Cena have lost? Like, I don't know. I don't like my initial thought is he should have won, but I understand why it happened the way it did too. Like that user here earlier on that I pulled up made that a very compelling, like how poetic it was. And like for him to lose, he never gives up and finally he does. Yes, under the mat radio. I'll read it again because it was good. It was poetic. He never gave up, but he did in the final match. So yeah. Yeah. Give me anybody's quick thoughts. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to take away. How do you follow up with this? I think you need Gunther to come out, cut a massive promo. I think you really need to cook things up though for WrestleMania season then on this Raw. He defeats Cena. Who's showing up? What's going on? What's next for Gunther? I think you need to put some big chips in place now that the Cena farewell tour is now off the dance card. So, oh, McKinsey said that is what I meant. Autocorrect botched it. WWE is building up 2 new monster heels of the future in Braun and Gunther, but don't have any younger faces to oppose them. That's exactly it. That's who is that? Who is going to connect? Cody is there, but you're just having Cody feud with Drew right now. Like, and Cody he's on the road to superstardom. Like, Roman Reigns is 1 foot out the door right now. Roman Reigns, Robert, my co-host for Rumor and Innuendo, put it best that he is in Undertaker mode. Like, you have somebody go up against Roman, that's like having a match with the Undertaker now, a program with the Undertaker. And so Roman will show up. You have a match with Roman. That's a big deal. Boom. Then he moves on. Roman's gone for a while. Cody is not there yet, but it seems with what's going on Hollywood and maybe other opportunities and how big of a reach he's getting out, that he is the present, but he's not the future yet. Like, maybe for a little bit more, but what are you doing? Where you need somebody else, and I don't know who that is right now. I don't know. I said this early on, and this is a wild one. I thought this a long time ago. Several years ago, I was on one of the NXT conference calls with Shawn Michaels, and I asked him about Julius Creed. Julius Creed has very Bruno Sammartino vibes. And Julius Creed is extremely, extremely talented in the ring. Can he convey a personality on the microphone? I think I've seen it before. I think he's pretty good. And I just thought he had a great ring presence about him, and kind of like this likable, hardworking kind of guy. He's kind of like a wild card, but we haven't seen him, and he's constantly just been a heel ever since being called up to the main roster. So it'll be interesting. Another name, I don't think he's gonna be considering his age where he's at. You could bring Chad Gable back and have him be the underdog to go up against Gunther at some point in time, but will that pay off? He could be a thrill of the chase kind of guy in certain ways. I don't know. I don't know where you go. I wonder how old Chad Gable is. I wonder, is he older? He can't be older than me, I don't think. Let's see, Chad Gable. I'm gonna look up his age real quick, just for the heck of it. He's close. He is 39. I'm 40. So, and Gunther, how old's Gunther? So Gunther, obviously all the wrestling prime used to be 36. 36 was the magic age for being in your prime. So, and Gunther's 38. All right. So, depending on the bump card, if you look at Chad Gable's bump card, is he okay? He's out with injury for a while, but I don't know. But somebody I liked Julius Creed a lot. I thought there was some potential there. You'd have to put him in the right kind of package, position him in the right manner. Can he speak on the mic good enough? I believe I've seen him speak on the mic pretty well when he was in NXT and stuff like that. I think there's something there. But is there enough that will catch momentum? Because you have your big stars right now. You have your CM Punk, your Cody Rhodes. In aspects like that. But obviously they're not going to be around forever. At the same time too, and this is constantly a star-making business. WWE has pivoted in the past, making it more about the brand WWE than the stars themselves, and I don't think that's a good position to be in. I understand it maybe from a corporate business aspect, but it's the stars that grease the wheels. Jay Wrestler chimes in. Good match, but corny ending. Did you see Cena smirk when he knew to tap? So scripted, like a porno girl looking into the camera, shaking my head. The smirk at the end was like, yeah, it's time. I get what Cena was doing, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, when you're getting choked out, you don't grin. You know what I mean? You don't pleasantly fall asleep. But maybe, I mean, you can kind of, it's pro wrestling too at the same time. So I don't know. McKinsey, Gable could be uh Ruthless Aggression era, Big Show / Kane / RVD / Jericho type of talent with a little more investment. Oh, okay. An upper mid carder that can be plugged into a main event program when needed. Yeah, that's a good point. I think Gable is such a good heel. You pivot him to being a baby face. I think he can get some momentum. He can have a really fun program where you do have like a big moment maybe for him at some point or another. Is he going to be like the next face of the company? I don't know about that, but Gable's got a good look. He's a pro. He's and he can handle himself in a great way in and out of the ring. So, man, almost 2,500 people tuning in live. If you're new, hello, I'm Dominic DeAngelo. You may be seeing me on RVD's X account. I am the co-host of One of a Kind with RVD. Go to rvdtv.com and get ready. Monday night, Rob will be live with me. We got 2 special guests. It's a Christmas party. It's our 2nd annual Christmas party that we're doing. So 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, rvdtv.com. Like, subscribe, share. But if you're checking out right now, be sure to like, share, subscribe. Studio One Sports. It's the new channel here on YouTube. If you're on X and you're just watching, go to YouTube, type in Brass Ring Media. That's the old brand name. And we're going to Studio One Sports, but Brass Ring Media is the current name. You type in, you'll see that logo. Boom. Like, subscribe. We're going to have plenty of content. I had an interview with Vince Russo a couple weeks ago, and I plan to do some weekly interviews and more content on here, plus a big show I'm having at the turn of the year too, with a very, very famous name in the pro wrestling world. So I'm excited for that to happen too at the turn of the new year. So lots going away. Let's see. Triple E says, is Gable still going to do El Grande Americano, or are we supposed to forget he was the original? That's a good point. I forgot about that whole thing. That El Grande Americano, I thought they were really going something with it. They're going to do something with it. And nothing. It's like Ludwig Kaiser and Pete Dunne, and somebody else too is part of it too. Is it Tyler? What's the guy's name? Tyler, not Breeze. The short guy, and I'm short too, so I'm not criticizing him, but I can't remember his name. Why am I blanking on his name? Jay Wrestler says, nothing away from Cena, but top 5 to me is Bruno, Flair, Brock, Hogan, and Undertaker. 17 titles because he got chance after chance. Yeah, that's always a subjective and debatable topic for sure. For top 5, I think we all have our own top 5 for our own reasons and stuff. But if you're coming from your ultimate pro, I don't know if those are your personal top 5 or your all-time top 5 kind of wrestlers. Because I mean, that could go any which way, and it's such a subjective topic because what do you look at? How do you what are the parameters for all that? Because it's different for everybody. I mean, like, certainly an argument could be made for any of those names. I think that you listed, though, for sure, to be in anybody's top 5. For sure. But Steve Austin, I mean, it's a name I'd throw out there. Bret Hart, you could obviously you could make a case for. Man, there's plenty, so many names. But Cena, though, I mean, you think of his longevity, you think of his reach, and you think of what he's doing now. Rock obviously really broke the threshold when he went to Hollywood and became this huge blockbuster movie star. Cena took the longer ride with WWE, had a much longer ride, became the face of the company, and then went to Hollywood and is flourishing in Hollywood right now. So, Rock ultimately has like this huge and massive reach in his household name, but John Cena's, I mean, like, he's not that, I don't think that far behind, really. So, McKinsey adds, the only other person I can remember that smiled when being submitted was Raven, but his character was sadomasochistic. Yes. Well, do you remember Liv Morgan also smiled when she was a little nuts, and then Ronda Rousey made her pass out. So, I don't know. I don't know. That's a tough thing. The fight, the struggle of the headlock, the sleeper hold was really, really captivating for that time. I'm just like, what is going on? But I think the big payoff would have been Cena gets out of it and hits him with the FU and gets the win. I can't believe I called it the FU, the attitude adjustment. Um, Adam, life event. I would like to ask you what you thought about Cena losing. What do you think about his career? Oh man. Well, yeah. Right now, Adam, I don't know how I feel about the Limbs losing. I uh, I I don't think he should have lost. I think I understand why he lost. I think that's what Cena wanted. I think a case and has been made in the chat here of why he lost, why he should have lost. Uh, how do you follow up? That's the ultimate question. Because we seen Cena lose to Solo Sikoa, and we seen Solo kind of super not be a huge launching pad for Solo ultimately. Sure, I think it put him in a good reign where, ultimately it set a good platform for him to be where he's at now, but like it's not like, man, yeah, remember when Solo beat John Cena? It's not like a part of it. Austin Theory, it didn't do anything there. Will this do something for Gunther? Gunther didn't necessarily need this win. He didn't. But will it make him feel like a real big deal moving forward? It's going to be a lot on how WWE positions him, on what they put kind of programs they put him in, and everything to that. So, and do I think his career was? Yes, I absolutely think his career was great, for sure. I like how Cena was like kind of that. He was the big blue Boy Scout when nobody wanted a big blue Boy Scout. You know, people started clamoring more for a big blue Boy Scout when Cody Rhodes took that mantle up. But like Cena was that just, it's funny too, because that crowd was chanting Super Cena. Super Cena used to be the negative connotation for John. And here it was a positive connotation for him tonight. People wanted Super Cena back. And I thought that was really neat. But John, uh, back in the day, it was not. And like I was one that wanted the punks and the RVDs and the core foundation of WWE to be shaken up again and not so like catered to kids and predictable and certain aspects like that, where just Cena was always on top. But you look back and you see what Cena's done, and who he is as a person, and what a passion and love he has for wrestling, and a knowledge he has for wrestling too. It makes you really appreciate the career that John Cena has had. So yeah, I think his career was amazing, one of the best to ever do it, and you know that doesn't connotate. I never, my own personal viewpoint of wrestling, like the wrestling aspect is very secondary to me. It's who you are as a person, like charisma wise, personality wise, the stories that you can tell in the ring. And the wrestling is part of that for sure. I don't think it's like, I'm not diminishing the value that having an in-ring acumen is, and in-ring talent by any sorts of the imagination. I think John's pretty talented in the ring anyways, to be forthright. Like he can hang with anybody. He's hanged with so many different people. Like you know, he's not a Kurt Angle in the ring, or he's not a, Eddie Guerrero, or, a RVD. Like, but he is his own talent that can go and tell us a fun story. And like this story was fun, except the ending is questionable and debatable. So um Triple E adds, how is Marcus recovering after you helped West cheat and cost Marcus the title? LOL. Great episode. My brother is a pro wrestler as well. He wrestles for IWC. Triple E is referring to him losing his high stakes championship at the IWC International Wrestling Cartel here in Pittsburgh. It'll be a new year for Marcus. I'm investigating Wes Barkley's actions. I don't know if Cena should have retired with the WWE title. I think the stakes were already high. I mean, John Cena's last match, you win, you lose. It's big enough. But I get what you mean. I think he should have maybe had the Intercontinental Championship. I think he should have taken that with him, maybe against Gunther. And then, like, Gunther being that champion. And then at some point, too, like, just Gunther just completely is you can't stop him. You can't stop him. He's the Intercontinental Champion again. Then he's going for the WWE Championship at the same time. That really makes it a big deal. So, but let's see how they do it. I'm very intrigued with how they're going to follow up with all this. Jay Wrestler adds, I truly believe Brock Lesnar should have been that long reign champ instead of Roman. He can't fight one-on-one. Needs family. Should have Brock Bruno's record broke. That's a tough ask. 8 years. That's a real tough ask. Plus, you're paying Brock. You think about it, Brock. That was not in the formula for WWE. Brock show up. You pay him big when he shows up. You can't be doing that on a weekly basis. I understand maybe what you're trying to get at, but like from a logistics standpoint, that would not have been Brock's bread and butter because he hates traveling and he hates doing all that stuff. So that would have never really been in the cards. Roman was the guy that was willing to do that and did do that. So, Willie Thornberry says, I totally understand why he lost. That doesn't mean I have to like it. Exactly. Yeah, I get why he lost. Don't know if it was ultimately the right decision, though. But I don't know. I think it's going to, like, right now, it doesn't feel like the right decision. But will it pay off? I don't know. It's going to be about the follow through. It really will. It'll be how Gunther handles it, who you position against Gunther, what you have planned. McKinsey, in the 2000s, I found Cena corny and was more in the likes of The Undertaker, RVD, Punk, HBK, and Edge. As far as WWE went, I have grown much more appreciative of Cena as time passed. Me too. Me too, for sure. Like, it's just, he's somebody that cares about the business and he gives back. And on top of it, too, he is good. I miss his personality being in the ring. Like, that's what you're looking for in the next babyface, right? You're looking for somebody with charisma and the ability to connect with fans. Cody has it. Punk has it. But, you need that new star coming up. And who is that? Who can it be? Let's see. All right. Well, I think we covered some good ground here. We're going about 50 minutes. I have to work tomorrow morning. So, and it's very cold here in Pittsburgh, and I have to get up early. But I did want to cover this tonight with all of you and chat with everybody. If you haven't, type in Brass Ring Media on YouTube. Look for Studio One Sports and hit subscribe and like. Like this video too. Please like this video. Help get the word out about this episode here. Going to try to do some more live shows here on this channel and get some stuff cooking again here. Kev is available. Let me see. Kev, I can bring on. Let me bring you on here real quick. I'll send you the link. I have to go to bed here soon though. But 1 second. 1 second. We're going to have a special guest come on here. Mr. Kevin Kellum. If I can pull up the Facebookie and send him the link. What undercard match did you guys like? What was your favorite undercard match? Did you have one? Did you like the undercard? Let's see. Okay. Bear with me. Facebook. Gotta give it to Kevin. There's Kevin. Oops. Okay, there he is. 1 second. Okay, there it is. Kev, I just Facebooked you the link. Facebooked you the link. Let's see here. I'm pulling up my window. I have several windows open. Okay, we're back. Snowing in Jersey. I know we're supposed to get a lot of snow. I think we got a winter storm warning until 1 p.m. tomorrow, actually, as a matter of fact, which will be a struggle. I'm over winter already, and it's barely happened. Yeah, just not a fan. Not a fan of the winter. Okay, 1 sec. Kev is in the house here. I did. Kevin's gonna be pleasantly surprised by this. I was already prepared for Kev to show up potentially. So 1 second, Kev. I'll pop you on here in a New York minute. Boom. There we go. Look at that.
Buddy. Sorry about the delay. I had stuff I had to do after what just happened.
Oh my God.
That we're still processing. I know you've already been on for 50 minutes, but hopefully we can dice this up into a clip for afterwards. That'll work too.
Yes. Something like that. Yeah, Kev, All right. Yeah, we've been talking about it quite a bit, obviously. What did you think that finish? John Cena losing.
I don't know how you can have an ending for him besides him winning that would be feel good in the moment. I don't know how you were going to have any ending for this match. And I mean that in a good way. This is the ultimate. You've worked yourself into a really tight position, right? Where
Sure.
it's that like you have to thread a needle through like a black hole somehow and like have it come out the other side and then be able to tie up any loose ends. And the loose ends are these astronomical expectations I think people have for this match. I don't think I've seen a match in wrestling that's had these type of expectations put on it. Like where it has to be this guy, it has to be done this way. I've never heard more aggressive fantasy booking for anyone in my entire time covering wrestling or being a fan of it, and just removing yourself as a analyst and all these different things and what's the business of this, just as a fan. Oh, that's devastating. It's devastating to see how that ended. But just putting on the analyst and the storytelling hat and the producing, you just made a villain forever. You just made a villain forever. Gunther in my eyes, the most surprising thing Gunther could do in his career after this is be a babyface. I don't know how he will ever, ever, ever be a babyface. That guy just did the ultimate bad guy thing, and he didn't cheat and he didn't shortcut anyone. He humbled a hero. He was cemented forever, just getting this match. If he lost the match, he lost. It was John Cena's last match. But that's only good in the short term. And John Cena understands that the wheel has to not just turn, it has to spin hard and heavy long after he is alive. Long after his days in the ring are done. And I can see if you want to bitch and moan, I get it. But you're not being quiet. No one is quiet after this.
Nobody's quiet after that.
People were quiet, but the emotions are loud. And if you tell me he gets in that ring at the Royal Rumble, what's the reaction going to be? You know what I mean? He walks out on TV. What's the reaction to be? And by he, I mean Gunther. And if anyone's bitching and moaning and say, how come you didn't get Edge to come back? Or you didn't get Chris Jericho to come back? How come you didn't get... It wouldn't mean anything. I mean, it would mean something, but would it mean the thing? The thing it has done is put Gunther in Brock Lesnar territory. He is now up there. World titles can't do what that just did for him. He is immortally the biggest villain he can ever be.
Well, I agree with you to a point. I really do, though, think it's going to be huge. The follow-up is going to be huge. How are you going to handle this after the fact? Like,
sure.
The aspect of him, you position him in a Brock Lesnar kind of role. You have to not only make sure that he's got the mic time and the camera work and the story to put him in that element. I know he can handle something like that, but you have to not only have that, but you have to have him have the ultimate. You need a big baby face and a new baby face. I mean, to make this ultimately pay off. I think so, because and I said this earlier in the show when Lesnar won, when he beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania 30. Before that, Lesnar was a dead in the water character. Like he was flat as all get out. Nobody.
Gunther was not a dead in the water character before,
and he wasn't. Gunther was not. Gunther was not. So you could raise the debate. Did Gunther really need something like this? No, he didn't. But it certainly could elevate him to that level that you're talking about if you follow up with it in the right manner.
Sure.
But yeah, I think in the grand scheme of it, was it the right move? I don't know yet. Like, I can't give a definitive. The air was let out of the room. And I was like, initially you're like, oh, Cena should have won. He should have won. And I'm not particular about how you tell the ending of it all.
But Dom, it doesn't. We can do X's and O's and ins and outs. And I also thought they could have just had Cena pass out. I thought They
I
could have
wouldn't
just
have done
had
that.
Cena
Though.
pass
No,
out.
I was all right
but
with
it
him
would have
not
been the
passing
same
out.
reaction. It would have been the same reaction. He never gave up, but he lost the match, and Gunther choked him out.
Yeah, I wouldn't have liked that because
You
I
know?
think you either do one or the other. You have him win or you have him tap out if you're going to have him put in a submission hold. Because I think it's just that's such a lazy conventional thing nowadays to just have everybody pass out. It's just like a cop out. It feels like.
And I you know what thing I did like? What I loved is they
Yeah.
teased him tapping out, and they did the traditional arm drop, which
Oh, I
now
love
they've
that.
introduced more of those MMA things, but they did the traditional old school
arm drag
wrestling.
was
The
great.
arm falls 3
Yes.
times, and when he popped it up, he didn't just let that. You could tell the way they shot it. He told the referee, "Hold my hand, cover my hand, so that I can do my like C Nation symbol as I got out of it." I loved that. I also loved how many times they made it clear that he is not beating Gunther. He gave Gunther everything he could give them. 1 AA through a table, 1 AA off the top, 1 AA in the first 5 minutes, trying to get Gunther. He was not, you knew it. So it was a matter if he gets that sleeper on again. You know what I mean? Like again.
I love that story aspect of the final 10 minutes or whatever that was.
That's my thing. This is a match I think people are going to look back at much
They're
more
going to
fondly.
appreciate it. Yes.
Yes. And guess what? It's not supposed to feel good when the good guy loses to the bad guy.
Yeah, it feels awful.
Why does it have to be more complicated than that? This felt like a celebration of professional wrestling and the purest form. Let's get it back to big time characters, great storytelling, great professional wrestling. The line, professional wrestling destroys sports entertainment.
Yeah, then they made sure that was
Michael
a point
Cole.
to say. That was definitely like Michael Cole had to say that line because it's going to tell something else moving forward. And like I want to ask you this: how much do you think was that John Cena's input to have him lose?
I think it was absolutely his input. If you tell me he didn't agree to that,
oh, he definitely wanted it. But because I'm almost thinking like, it was Cena that was like overrode almost a lot of this. So no, I want to lose. And like you look at Cena's history, that's not a surprise at all. Like Cena's such a giving person, and he's always been
especially in the last like 10 or 15 years.
Right.
Like once he knew he was a made guy around 2010, he's like, I'll lose. And I'll still be John Cena.
I'll still be all right.
But my thing is like, also, you know this, if he beat, let me flip this. You want to flip the script of like yards that weren't scored? People do that with football all the time. Oh, if this would happen, this would happen. Let me do this. If he beats Gunther, how does Gunther ever come back from that? He's never going to get the win back. John Cena's not going to come back and give him another win, right? He's never going to get that win back. You'd have to spend a year getting that character back to where it once was and give him new names and new legends and other people. And you have to burn these other special moments to maybe get him near where he was. If he loses this match, he's never not the Gunther he was before. Now he's the Gunther beyond. He's this whole other character. You know what I mean? And Darth Vader was never bigger than when he was at the end of Empire Strikes Back.
That's true.
Right? But when Gunther did, but when his character played its most pivotal role, it's when he lost and helped Luke Skywalker win at the end of Return of the Jedi.
Yes,
Gunther is going to have a huge match at WrestleMania, and he's going to be in a major position that he was not in before.
Yeah, I agree. It will feel like if they position him in the right manner, tell the right story, everything to that, you're going to make him feel like a real big deal. And this will pay.
I also don't. I mean, no one can tell you that was a bad match outside of the ending is just deflating. You know what I mean?
The ending was so deflating, like it was. But like, did you expect anything different from John if you took a look at it? If they were going to have John win, like that would have been overrode what John would have wanted. I know, like that's not what John would have wanted totally, because like
no,
he's the ultimate professional wrestler.
I think you could have pinned him, and people wouldn't have been nearly as upset. I think the fact that he just did,
I think that's a fair point.
I think if he just took like 3 power bombs and he just took one, kicked out, took another one, kicked out, took a third one, can't kick out, right? Yeah. And then I think people would have been fine with that, like or at least more reasonable. Also, he was not the favorite to win this match. He's a 48-year-old. You want to do the sports thing? He's a 48-year-old guy who's got every trick in the book, and he's taking on a guy who's more than 10 years is younger than him. And is also a monster, They built Gunther up. Logic, storytelling, loyalty to the character, all those boxes check. The only box that doesn't check is I don't feel good, but you feel. You don't walk. No one's walking away from this match without an opinion. You feel.
And you're tuning in on Monday. You get to what Gunther has to say. You're going to tune in for
hooks
that.
in. The hook's in. I had people reach out to me. Triple H just lost it. They sold out 19,000 tickets.
Dude, did you see Triple H? When Triple H was hugging Cena, he was laughing about it. Like everybody booing him. Like there's something in place.
I didn't get to see. I just saw the ending of the match. I haven't seen anything afterward.
Okay, but like ultimately, it's really going to boil down. It's great to have a real hot heel, like and a huge monster heel. You need a huge baby face, and who is that going to be moving forward? That's going to be the question. It's like Michael Cole said early in the night. Cody Rhodes is the present. Obafemi is the future. But is Obafemi the future? We don't know yet. But
I don't think that ending did him any favors.
No, not like, man.
I'll take that back. He got the favor of being in the ring and opening the show and being in a pivotal position. He also got to womp on Cody for a little bit. But I don't know what do you want to have him?
People are not going to remember that coming out of it, unfortunately.
I also think there's a lot of interest. Like I didn't love that, but I'm like, if you do a triple threat with all three of these guys, if Oba gets to get a Finn, he gets to get a fight in there with Drew in the future, I'm okay with that. I didn't hate it, but it made me feel like, oh, that's something that could have happened on a TV show. You know, like that could have been a Cody Rhodes match on Raw or SmackDown.
Absolutely could.
I wanted it to feel, the ending of it was that ending I hated a lot more than the ending of the show. Yeah, also I'll say there was things that Cena did in that, the way he tapped, he just kind of had this smile on his face, like, I did it. It's okay. I'm all right with that.
I'm like kind of up in the air about that. Like I'm all right with, I guess, how it ended, but it's like if you're treating it legitimately, you're not grinning when you go to sleep or tapping.
But it's also performative art.
I know. Like, and that's part of it too.
I know I'm gonna get a lot of shit for defending the match though too, because also everyone's just gonna remember the ending. They don't remember all these tremendous things they did and the build up. The
match was amazing. I really appreciated the match, and I said this too. I thought it was such a cool segment of the match.
Who's gonna make movies now?
Well, yeah, but I mean,
to do everything he did.
When it comes to Gunther, him like the early moments in the match where he's like just leveling John Cena, like knocking him down, and then telling the ref to ask him, like wanting him to just give up physically, like not in a submission hold. But I thought that was such a neat moment and point to the story of the match. So like
I love this comment from NWA. NWA Mexican says, all this baldness is I'm going blind.
That's it. We got a lot of baldness happening. Got a lot of baldness going on. Bald is beautiful here. Yeah. But no, I think I loved it. I love the match itself. The finish is like, how are you going to follow up? That's the question I have. It's like, I think Gunther, you can make him definitely be a huge monster heel, but you need what's really going to grease the wheels here is having a big, huge baby face moving forward and not somebody like Cody Rhodes or, at the same time, or Punk.
Back to the end of it. I just think there's no way you could do this match without people flipping out online. There's no way. This
do you think people would have flipped out?
No way. No ending would have made everyone happy. No ending would have made everyone happy. None.
So people would have been like, "Oh, Cena should have like." But those wrestling nerds that have been like, "Oh, Cena should have lost," I wouldn't have cared because it's just like it's a storytelling element. Like it is like it's something that Cena wouldn't want to do, as a person, but like ultimately, like the fans love him and he's wrestling. Like the argument is like he's WWE's biggest star of all time. You're positioning him as the greatest star of all time. He's the one you could make an exception for going out on a win. And so, I mean, I certainly understand that aspect.
At the expense, but not at the expense of your future. Like not at
you do that, Gunther.
You do yes. If you do that, Gunther's never Gunther again. He's just the guy who lost to John Cena.
He's still Gunther. I think he's still Gunther because he has that final match with John Cena. You would have to really do more work to build him up again, but it's not a lot of work, I would say. I don't think it's as much work as maybe you'd be thinking. I think, though, what you just said, though, about him winning, like you do put him in this, you have him in that Brock Lesnar position now as this new monster heel. So it's going to be how they follow up again, like I said. But ultimately, yes.
Like I said, if John Cena won, people would bitch because they'd be like, "You're burning the future. You're burning the present star that you've built in Gunther." If he gets pinned, people would still be, I think, nearly as upset. I think that would be the best option is if John Cena just got pinned after taking an onslaught, and he just simply can't reach this one. And Gunther couldn't get him to tap out, but John Cena went out on his sword, and he did. Technically, he did.
Do you think he should have been pinned instead of tapped?
Yes. I think that would have been that would have cut the difference in terms of like the nuclear reaction. But the way you had him do this, even Gunther being like, "Did he do it? Did he do it? Did you like the look on Gunther's like
notice that. I didn't notice. Yeah, I didn't notice that.
There was this look like even like Gunther like scooted back.
Wait,
like,
he
did it. He did it, didn't he? You're like he had this look. He's like, "Oh, okay, all right." Even Gunther was kind of surprised that it happened, even though he was setting it all up. But you can't tell me that wasn't a moment. And WWE is all about moments, and moments make people. And he's had a lot of moments. The worst thing I think they could have done is if John Cena just beat him in the ring, just beat him. If John Cena tapped him out, that would have been awful, right?
Oh yeah, so, you could know. I wouldn't have tapped Gunther out. I don't think it would have been as detrimental to Gunther.
Or some overcooked interference ending or something like that. No,
yeah, you wouldn't want a schmoz finish or something like that. No way. That would have been the worst.
This was John Cena, great professional wrestler, is going to have a great professional wrestling match for the last time,
and doing the favors for the business. That's what
he did. And
it's the name of the game.
All those boxes check. All the boxes check. Here's the box that doesn't check. People that want to be outrageous on the internet don't get exactly what they want, and if they did, they would say it was great, but it wouldn't translate to a casual viewer. That box doesn't check.
I do think it's fair though for fans to be upset. I do think,
but you care. But you care, and you got a great match. So what's the real, like, when I crystallize it to people get angry at me about like that. Like I'll go back and forth with people on our side of the business who have real issues with it, and I have no problem talking about fan outrage. You care. I know it seems like I'm working people, but that is the psychology of professional wrestling. You got upset about the finish of a fictionalized sport. At the end of the day,
people get upset. People get upset about real sports. People get upset about the season or series finales, like of television shows too. So I understand. I get it.
But the thing is, the ride was really good. I enjoyed the tournament. Some people were really critical of the tournament. I enjoyed the tournament. Oh, they buried this guy, and then who got buried? LA Knight's gonna come back and destroy the Vision. He's gonna get a bigger 2026. Like, there's a lot of momentum. That's the thing, is this launches some people. Gunther now, dude, you do LA Knight versus Gunther in the future, and LA Knight gets a win on him. That kind of squares it up. Now you're talking multiple matches between these guys.
I don't know.
Now you're talking business, right? So
it's gonna be a long time.
I didn't hate it. I can't say I hated that. If you hated that, you just wanted John Cena to win.
I can't say it. No, I can't say I necessarily hated it. I just right now I can't really make a decision if I agree with it or don't agree with it. It's really gonna boil down to the following,
right?
For sure, yeah. I was like,
it's just another show, just another ending.
I don't know. That's the feeling you want to convey to fans. Ultimately, like, it would be one thing, Kev, if they had a big name lined up to answer back to Gunther at some point. I can't wait to see this person take out Gunther. They don't necessarily have that person yet, and so I think that's like, okay, well, we went on this year-long ride with John Cena. It's had its up and down, it's bumpy road, and mistakes have been made, missteps, all that, what have you. But here, this is the farewell tour. We're saying bye to Cena. Who is next? And not from a heel standpoint, but a babyface standpoint.
So you don't think they have that person?
I don't know who it is yet. I don't know. And I don't, like, I hope they know, like, at some point. But again, that stuff has to come organically. I think it took Cody to organically leave WWE and come back to be that guy. And like, you don't necessarily, Punk has obviously always had that organic connection, but he's 45, 46 right now. So it's just like
he's wrestling around injuries and wrestling around.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's Terry Funking it. I know you and I had that conversation before. He's Terry Funking it right now.
Yeah.
He's doing some very crafty things in the ring to, like,
absolutely. He's a smart, and like, I love Punk is tune in television, appointment television for me. But like, you do not have that baby face to who is next lined up, and I don't know who it is. I honestly don't. And I hope,
but I mean, have. But here's the thing: everything we're talking about is a compelling "what's going to happen next" question.
Sure,
and that defeats the entire Triple H lost it type.
And Triple H, no, there's no Triple H hasn't lost it. Like that's one thing I take huge exception with is like people really complain about the current WWE product. Hey, let's rewind back to 2019 or 2018.
This is not 2019 WWE. This is not.
It's not. This is a completely different element where there is more engaging stuff. Now, has there been stuff that I can certainly like break apart and say like, no, I didn't like this, and this could be handled differently, and maybe you should do this differently. But ultimately, it's in a decent spot. What wrestling really rides on is big stars, and you position Gunther to be your next big monster heel. But to have a big monster heel and really make that pay off, you need a big monster baby face at the same time. And who is that?
Absolutely.
I don't know.
I don't mean to keep you up late there on the East Coast.
Okay. Yes, I have to clock in at Whole Foods at 6 a.m. tomorrow. And
God bless you, man. God bless you.
And I got to walk through this snowstorm we're getting over here too, so that'll be fun.
You getting a nor'easter? You getting a nor'easter?
Oh yeah, it's getting real sticky. We got a winter storm warning until 1 p.m. tomorrow, so fun times.
Yeah. Don't worry. Don't go licking any metal poles when you're out there, buddy.
Oh, okay? Maybe I should, and then I can call for work or something.
I'm not gonna double dog you, but I'll quadruple dog dare you.
All right, challenge accepted.
I skip triple.
Oh, you quadruple.
I want right there.
All right. Well, Kev, tell the audience what you got going on.
You can check out what I'm doing on Sportskeeda Wrestling. I was late because I had to record content for them based off the show.
Yeah.
And even our team there is just like, he lost it. There's so much fan outrage. I was like, I thought there was no way anyone was going to leave this match happy with whatever the ending was. And they certainly left more. So if they're not going to be happy, let's make them really mad.
Right.
Like they definitely achieved that. And so that video just dropped. We're dropping new on the Sportskeeda Wrestling YouTube. We're dropping weekday news videos. 7 minutes, you get all of the wrestling every weekday at 10 a.m., around 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern. All right, so if you just subscribe, you go check them out. You can get caught up on all the news. Maybe there's something you missed this week. It's really, really perfect, and it's kind of built on short-term, memory, and just give it to me fast and that kind of thing. So we have those, and then we have a bunch of deep dive stuff in the channel as well. You can check out what I'm doing on WrestleBinge. I just interviewed Leon Slater, the XTV champion. So those are two different Sportskeeda Wrestling channels. Sportskeeda Wrestling, you'll see the big red SK, and then WrestleBinge as well. My interview with Leon Slater talking about their move to AMC coming up in a few weeks in January.
Exciting stuff. Yeah, it's an exciting time in wrestling business for sure. So if you guys like,
but they've lost it. They've lost it. They lost it.
The plot.
It's lost.
They lost the plot. If you guys do what
if they only did my fantasy booking specifically for me,
That's it.
Strong Style 69 fan, they would, if they just followed my booking.
That's it. But if you like what you're seeing here, be sure to tune in every Monday through Friday for Rumor and Innuendo at noon. That's on podcast Heat Wrestling on ad-free shows. Me and Robert Karplus. I can't wait to get Robert's opinion on what happened here. We'll hear that on Monday, so be sure to be on the lookout for that. Also, subscribe to rvdtv.com. Check it out. Monday night, Rob and I are having our Christmas party. We got 2 special guests, 2 big wrestling names. So it'll be neat to hear Rob's reaction about being at John Cena's last
front
match.
row.
Front row, baby. Right there. John Cena gave him a bro hug, too. Big bro hug. They like each other a lot. It's awesome to see. And
I thought WWE did a great job, by the way, with all the talent.
The whole presentation of it all was amazing with it. Yeah. It was really well done. And like just having all those celebrities chime in, and when you're getting like the hat tip from Tom Brady and stuff like that, and it's like kind of John, like crazy.
Peyton
crazy.
Manning?
Yeah, Peyton Manning
doing a joke. Peyton Manning had a funny joke. He said you can come out, your ring entrance music won't play when you go into a grocery store unless you play it for yourself in your earphones.
You got to play it on your headphones. They had some good ones.
That was funny. Yeah, it was fun.
It's fun stuff. It made it feel like a big deal, and it was a big deal. Man, I love John Cena, though. Shout out to John. What a great career, and really fun. He elevated wrestling, and it's true, too. He put it in a better place than when he,
wrestling is bigger than when he entered the business. Think about where it was in 2002, and it kind of felt like it was going to, and then he helped build it up, and then also came back to it. He came back to wrestling at a time when he, in his career, didn't, unless he was really passionate, didn't need to. This wasn't something where John Cena needs the money to do this. John Cena did this because he wanted to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Want to give one.
And if he didn't want that ending, he could have said no. He could have said no. I'm not doing it. Yeah.
But he definitely wanted that ending.
Yeah.
Definitely wanted it. Well, this is the ending for this. Thank you all for tuning in to Studio One Sports. Be sure to, if you're not on YouTube, go to Brass Ring Media right now. Type that in. It'll pop up as Studio One Sports. We're going to get the name changed, but like, subscribe. And Kev, thanks for doing this, man.
You tapping out?
Tapping out.
Tapping out.
I'm going to go ahead and tap. We'll see you guys next time here on Studio One Sports. We can't see you, John.